Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons' brand new box set that's coming out, the Dungeons & Dragons Stranger Things Welcome to the Hellfire Club box set, and what can be done with this box set that was never able to be done with any other box set. So Dungeons & Dragons has really moved forward, and with this, so previously you play a player character, right? But what's really unique about this Dungeons & Dragons box set is it allows you, it goes two steps up from that, right? And it allows us to play players playing player characters and to construct the group that those player characters belong to. Why are they playing Dungeons & Dragons? Under what structure are they playing Dungeons & Dragons? So I already talked about a 1970s player group, and then playing player characters in the 1970s. Let's talk about what right out of the box, let's talk about the primary setting that this box set will allow. Actually, I think it's very important to understand that this box set is going to allow us to play players playing player characters in literally every single decade of Dungeons & Dragons, all 5 distinct decades: the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and in the and into the future. But those are the 5 we have now, right? So, what I think is really interesting is the focus of Welcome to the Hellfire Club is playing Dungeons & Dragons in the 80s. So you will be playing a player character in the 1980s. And that is unique. It is not, well, it's not, actually, it's rare. It's not unique. Basically, it is playing under persecution. And that has happened before in Dungeons & Dragons. That has happened a second time. So the 80s were a time of persecution. This was repeated. All right, it first happened in 1983. Okay, there was massive persecution for playing Dungeons & Dragons. This was repeated in 2023, and there were players who played under exactly the same threat. D&D be gone. 1983, people in America came to destroy Dungeons & Dragons and wipe it off the face of the earth, and not allow anybody to read it, own it, play it, experience it in any way. Exactly the same thing happened in 2023 for a different reason. It was the 1983 Satanic Panic, and it was the 2023 Manic Panic, and it was over the OGL crisis. But people literally came and said, you're not allowed to own, you're not allowed to play, you're not allowed to experience Dungeons & Dragons in any way. So there's been 2 persecution periods in Dungeons & Dragons history. That's extremely important to understand. And the reason why we have to understand that is it's not over. There are going to be people always come with this zealous desire to destroy Dungeons & Dragons. Not to say, oh, play something else, but to say you're not allowed to play this at all. And the hatred for Dungeons & Dragons runs bone deep. What's really wild is it runs bone deep on evangelical Christians, and it runs bone deep on atheists and agnostics. That's who actually pushed it in 2023. The fact that Dungeons & Dragons can make 2 different groups of people just want to literally wipe it off the face of the earth, both shouting literally the same words, D&D be gone, is unbelievable. It's really shocking. And the reason I repeat it here is I'm so terrified that there's so much revisionism that happens on Dungeons & Dragons history. Like, one of the issues I'm dealing with right now is revisionism on an event that's only 10 years old, right? Like, it's really wild, but let me stay focused. So I think what's really interesting with where we land with Welcome to the Hellfire Club is this box set is allowing you to play players playing player characters in the 1980s. And this was a time of persecution. When you took those books out there, and you told anyone about that, you were in a situation where you were under real threat, right? Like, people would come, they'd say, give us your books. They would throw them onto a pyre. Like, it was incredible. It was really a very unique time in American history. Banned books, burned books. It's not a long list, right? And D&D is right at the center of it. It's absolutely incredible. And what's really interesting is a lot of banned books. You know the checkbox. Oh yeah, this banned books. Here's the checkbox list. Dungeons and Dragons is truly unique. It's the only book. It's the only intellectual property in the world. It's the only special checkbox where they're like, we want to destroy it physically and digitally, right? It was the Dungeons and Dragons was the first among digitally burned books. There's a special site called D&D Beyond, and when the OGL crisis happened, I will never forget this. These people came shouting. They were like, D&D be gone. D&D not allowed. Not allowed to own it. You're not allowed to play it. You're not allowed to. You need to be ashamed that you play Dungeons and Dragons. And what we want you to do is go and delete your digital account on D&D Beyond. And people were like, well, mate, I bought like 20 books on there. And they're like, yeah, destroy them. It was the first digital book burning. And again, the history on Dungeons and Dragons is so deep, so profound, and we can't lose it. It's under threat all the time. There are so many lies. There are so many agendas connected to Dungeons and Dragons, and so many things that different people want it to be. It's absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything like it. And you will never see anything like it, because there is nothing like it. It is truly a transformative tool that involves narrative and identity. And there's really nothing on the planet Earth like it, and there never has been. It's truly, truly unique. So I think it's really important to understand that people will come to welcome to the Hellfire Club, and they'll be able to experience that first era of persecution, right? And see what it was like, that when you unfolded your Dungeons and Dragons book, you were defying American culture. You were being countercultural. You were entering rebellion, right, against the culture. We've never had a time like it since, except for 2023. It's incredibly unique. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.